Hello.
Oh my gosh, David,
Oh,
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fabulous.
Yes or no? Are you gonna pay for the rent increase for my salon when Wilkins builds his luxury condo next door?
Okay.
Excuse me, federal agent. I need to speak with Dr. Wells right away.
Sorry, he's already left for the evening.
Are you sure? Can you check again?
I saw him walk out a few hours ago, but that strange key card log says he's still in the building.
Excuse me. You need to take us to the operating rooms right now.
I cannot, I'm not authorized.
Listen.
I got 2 bitches waiting on me outside and 2 counts of murder on my head that they know about. And I ain't sorry.
Marty?
Look, it was a stupid waitress job 10 years ago. Do you remember what you were doing 10 years ago? All I know is that the man was yelling at the girl.
These are all the jaw fractures that came in from 2 to 3 years ago.
Thank you.
We don't get as many of these as we used to.
I just want to touch it.
Elizabeth, I just tried calling you. I'm sorry, I couldn't wait. I have to leave for the airport now.
Well, what about the later flight?
This is the later flight. I threw her pajamas, some crackers, a couple toys in here, just in case she had to stay for a while. I'm sorry. The doctor needs to check out some of these contusions, and she's dehydrated.
Thank you.
Now that's what I call a body of work. This woman, this beautiful lady of heart and mind, she is an actress with, the word that came to my mind is gravitas. I mean, I'm gonna just throw out just a few of the amazing pieces of work that she's been in. American Horror Stories, This Is Us, Paved with Good Intentions, CSI, 24, Strong Medicine, ER, Chicago Hope, The Jamie Foxx Show, Any Day Now. I met this lovely lady when I got to Los Angeles years ago, and she's like a special kind of family. We both met in an acting class. Here she is, Taneka Johnson.
Woo! What was that acting class? It was Corey, or what was his last name?
Corey Allen.
Corey Allen, who has passed away.
He passed away, I think, God, I lose track of time, but I think it's like 8-9 years ago already.
Many years ago, Corey Allen. He was great. He was wonderful.
Yeah. It's interesting how those acting classes that we go to really connect us with people that are with us throughout our lives.
Yeah, because in acting class, you are in touch with very particular feelings. The acting teacher is really trying to help you to use and pull out of you what's in there to help you for your various characters. So you really, really got to get in touch with those characters. Yeah, I remember from that acting class, McDreamy was also a student there. Do you remember he went there?
Yes.
I think he was with Margie Haber. He might have been with Corey Allen also, but the guy who plays McDreamy, McSteamy, not McDreamy, McSteamy. The second guy who came on Grey's Anatomy, he was there with us at the time. But anyway,
and of course of course, my mind goes blank now, but from Lost, Josh, were you in that class with us when
I might not have been in that class,
Oh, okay.
but yeah, but see, these are the people that you meet in acting class. Oh my gosh, there's so many actors who I've seen throughout the years, and I remember them from acting classes and workshops, and I saw them, and yeah.
Yeah. And I always remember you were constantly working, which was very exciting for me. I mean, being in that class, I mean, it was such an open class, and to open you up, like you said, emotionally. The question that comes to my mind, which people ask at the beginning of an interview, is when did you know you wanted to be in this business called show?
I think I always knew I wanted to be in this industry. At first I think I thought I could be a singer, just because I love singing so much, but I was not a good singer. I was never a good singer, a good showman, but never really like a good singer. But I always knew I wanted to be in the industry. And I came from a very small town in Dadeville, Alabama. And I actually moved here to go to college, but mostly to be in the industry, to be an actress in the industry. And so I knew from an early age that's what I wanted to do. But also, I think too, because I was a huge fan of the Cosby Show in a Different World, and that was with Lisa Bonet.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at the college life and the college experience, and I really wanted to experience college also.
Yeah.
So, I think when I first got here, I didn't really know what I was doing, and I, tried to make my way into acting at 18, 19 with no real education and knowledge and history of theater, no real acting classes under my belt. I hadn't really studied, I hadn't done any plays. And so when I first started, around 18, 19, it was just like ridiculous. I was just giving my money to different workshops who would take them. And I really, really, really wasn't ready. So I'm glad, I went to Santa Monica Junior College, and I took so many acting classes there, and I got my AA degree. And then I transferred to USC, where I got my degree in communications. But the great thing about USC is at the time, there was an interim president working in the theater department, and she was so kind to me. She allowed me to take any theater courses that I wanted. So every semester I would take theater classes that were really only allowed for the theater majors. And my first play that I ever did was A Raisin in the Sun, and that was at the Bing Theater at USC. I mean, I got that part within, a couple of weeks of me being at USC.
What
So,
was it about that part the part and you attracting each other?
yeah, so I read for the role of Ruth, who was the wife. And it's so funny because I'm like, gosh, if I could play Ruth now, being a wife and a mother, at that time I was 18, 19,
Right.
I barely knew what I was doing, but I tried my best. I mean, I must have done something right because I got the part.
Yeah.
But I was just happy to be there and be in a play and learn. And the actor who played my husband, the lead role, he is J. August Richards, and he's an actor now, very successful actor. And he was just on Council of Dads. He starred in Angel for 4 years, and he's actually now in Spain doing a TV show called Academy of
Vampires.
Yep. And so he is doing that, and we're still the best of friends. And he played Walter Lee, and we were we grew together and learned together. And, I was just happy to be there, be cast, and very, very happy to learn.
And that's where you two met.
That's where we met.
Wow.
Mhm.
Well, you were talking about your family, and I know this might sound off the wall, but one of my favorite things every holiday time is to receive a postcard from
A
you. Postcard
from
your
me.
family.
Yes, my family, they're so cute. So let's see. I graduated from USC in 1994, and starting in 1995 I did an educational play called Secrets, and it was funded through Kaiser Permanente, and it was a traveling play that I did for a good 4 years or so. And we would go to different organizations and different schools, and we would perform this play called Secrets about HIV and AIDS and how you can catch it and all the myths surrounding it. And that was great. I got paid for doing theater, and I had all my health benefits and everything. And then in 1999, that's when I got my big first break, was when I did Any Day Now, which was a TV series on Lifetime. And I did 3 seasons on that show from 1999 to 2002, playing the role of Lakeisha Reynolds. That ended in 2002. I got married 2003. And even in 2003, I was still working. I had a recurring role on Chicago Hope. I think I did 4 episodes of Chicago Hope, and then I was still working even once I got married. But then in 2008, I had my first son, and I was still working, not as much, but a bit. I think I did Castle right after I had the baby. I did a big national a commercial for Toyota.
Right.
And then in 2010, I had my second son. So then I had 2 kids. So then I was like, whoa. So I had to put the halt on acting.
Now, how was that? How was that to adjust to one wonderful baby and then having a second one?
Yeah, it was wonderful and tough at times. And then just speaking from an acting standpoint, it was a huge decision, because that is about 8 years that I really kind of missed out on. So a lot of the actresses, like if I think of Black actresses who started right along the same time I did, which would be like Vivica Fox, Nia Long, the actress who she just won the Emmy, Regina King, Regina Hall. These are all actresses right around my age range, and we all started at the same time. And missing out on that kind of 8 to 10 years between 2010 and 2018, that's kind of when I came back, about 2018.
Right.
Acting wise, it hurt me for sure, because I aged, I got older, I got heavier in weight. It kind of put me in a different category. So I missed out on, it's like a lot of casting directors knew me, producers knew me, and then I kind of disappeared for a while so that I could have my kids. But I 100% don't regret it. I'm glad I raised my kids, and now my kids are 11 years old and 13 years old. And probably this year I've acted more than I have in so many years. I came back to acting in 2018, 2019. And so I've been kind of going strong since, except of course the pandemic. I didn't work during the pandemic, but like right after the pandemic, I started working again, and it was
I was excited because I turned on the TV and there's you on American Horror Story.
Yes.
How was it being on that?
It was so great. I have to tell you a nice story about that show. So anyway, it had been a while since I worked, and it was after the pandemic.
Yeah.
And so I got cast on American Horror Stories. And what I loved about being cast on that show is that I was cast as a detective, as a female detective. And many of the roles that I have gotten, that I had recently, it was all like a nurse or, great characters, but, very character, mom, nurse type characters. And so I was so excited that this director picked me as a detective. I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna be a detective and wear a badge. I was just so excited.
Yeah.
So anyway, I show up on set. I'm very happy. The director is just giving me so many compliments, and the director's name is Max Winkler. And he just happens to be the son of Henry Winkler, which I didn't realize at the time. And so anyway, so I do the scene. He comes up to me after, and I tell him, I said, oh my gosh, I'm so happy you cast me. It just made me so happy. This pandemic, it's been so tough, but I'm so glad I got this because it gets me closer to making my health insurance. Because I was about $4,700 away from making my health insurance. And so he had asked me, he said, oh, how much more do you need for your health insurance? I said, oh, I'm about $4,700 away. I said, but it's okay. I'll do some background work. I'll do some other work, like I'll make it. So then I leave the set. I'm on my way home. I get a call from my agent. The agent says, Max Winkler wrote you into another scene, and he wants to make sure that you get top of show, which was $6,200. I know. Usually when I tell the story, I cry, but I've cried so many times, and I just want to say that about, a lot of people say a lot of sometimes negative things about the industry. But here's this guy, this young guy, never met him before in my life, had a 15 to 20-second conversation with him. He knew I was trying to get my health insurance. Immediately on my way home, and he has a zillion things happening. How he even remembered this, I don't know, but he made sure to write me in. And the next scene he wrote me in on, I didn't even have any lines or anything really, but he made sure that I had something to do.
Yeah.
So he threw me in a scene. I came back, I shot it where I'm kind of like looking at the crime scene. It's just supposed to be the police there, but he wrote the detective in the scene just so that I could make my health insurance. And that's my American Horror Story story. I just think that was so wonderful. Max Winkler, I'll never forget him for that.
That just made my day. That just made beyond my day. I mean, first of all, I love that show anyway, but to hear somebody do that, and Winkler, because I know that Henry Winkler is supposed to be an amazing sweetheart.
People have said Henry Winkler is a great guy, and here he is with a wonderful son.
As they say, the apple doesn't fall far
from the tree. Yeah. So that was great. I mean, I did American Horror Story, and then I did a show with Will Ferrell, and it's so funny because I had 3 scenes with him. I played a nurse, which I play a lot. I play a nurse a lot.
Why do you think you play a nurse a lot?
I play a nurse a lot because of my age category. Once you're in your 40s and then over 40, sometimes you get put in a category, and I'm always a character, and especially because I'm a little bit heavier also, I'm not a thin actress. So there's certain roles that like I always get called in for.
I have to say, besides that, one of the things that I wrote down about you is that I wrote, your soul is a light for others. You just tend to you have this lovingness about you, and nurses, to have a beautiful, wonderful, healing nurse, I think that's even more why you get the role.
Okay, I'll take that. Maybe that also has something to do with it. Yep. Maybe that has something to do with it. So I did another show called Easy Mark, and it's great. It's on Apple Plus. I haven't even seen it. I think it's episode 4, but I have to look for it. And that was great. And I was so starstruck with Will Ferrell. I was just like, oh my God. And so after we finished the 3 scenes, I was just like, I screamed. I was like, oh my God, I did 3 scenes with Will Ferrell. And everyone started laughing, and they were on strict COVID protocol, but Will Ferrell just gives me a hug. And he was like, okay, hey, this is worth it. And so he just gave me a big hug. We weren't supposed to be touching each other, and definitely no one was supposed to be touching Will Ferrell, but he did, and they gave me some ad libs to do, and they're really funny. So I'm very excited about that. And then I got to do a show. They made a cartoon character out of me on a show called Pin 15. And it's a regular show with teenagers, but they did 1 episode that's animated, and it's so great. And so I got to see myself as a cartoon character, and they really made the character look like me. And
is that out now, or is it coming out?
I think it's out now. It's season 2 of Pin 15. See, that's another thing I got to do. It's like sometimes these shows that I've been on come out, and I don't have time because I have the 2 boys and I'm very active in their school, but I have everything written down. I got to get it together to watch it, because I think that that's out now. The only thing that isn't out now that I've done, I did a nurse on a series, a limited series on Netflix called Monster, and it's about Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah.
And so I played a nurse who helped deliver one of his future victims. So that's very dark, and that's not out yet, but that will be out on Netflix. And then my next thing coming out, the most recent, I think like on October 28th or 27th or 26th, I'm in episode 8 and 9 of American Crime Story, the impeachment of Bill, the Monica Lewinsky story. And I play a real life character, which is the jury forewoman, Alexander. And she was a real woman during the Monica Lewinsky trials.
Yeah.
So that was great. That was very interesting. And
what is it like being away from it for, 8 years, pretty much? And then boom, what you're saying gives me hope for not just myself, but for actors who take a little time away for one reason or the other, but then come back into it. It seems like the door burst open for you again.
Yeah, it's that is great. And then, one thing that I do have to say is that over the years, I've developed many, many, many relationships. So there are some producers and former writers on TV shows that I can email and say, hey, I'm back out there, send them my picture and resume, and just like let them know that I'm out there. And if you see anything for me, actually, I just got an audition for today. and I text my friend, wait, let me see if I hold this up, if you can see this.
Right. Oh, yes.
So this is for the Rookie. I don't know if it comes up, but anyway, this is for the Rookie. And so the Rookie, a friend that I went to college with, Terrence Paul Winter, he is an executive producer on the show. He was also an executive producer on Castle, which is how I got that audition for Castle. And then also, if you look at the casting, which is Ulrich Dawson Kritzer, they've cast me on so many things, and they cast me on any day now. So the one thing with acting is, like, if you're good and you're a solid actor, producers and showrunners and casting directors, they will always remember you. You know, they'll always remember, oh, Taneka, yeah, okay. You know, they'll always remember you. So if you're very serious about your craft and you do good work and you have a great presence on set, and you follow directions well from the various directors you work for, you know, people remember that. People remember that, you know, and every blue moon, it doesn't happen often, but every blue moon, a casting director may contact me or contact my agent and just say, oh, hey, we want Taneka to come in, and I don't have to audition. And it's never for a big part. It's just like for a couple of lines where the producers just trust the casting directors just to bring in someone great, solid for a line or two. And there are some casting directors who know that they can trust me to do that. You know, if it's just a line here or a line there, hey, Taneka, we just want you to come in and do this. So yeah, so that's how it works sometimes. But if you come in and you're not ready and you're not prepared and you don't leave a good lasting impressions, you know, you're not going to get those opportunities.
Yeah. And well, and again, coming from the way you are, people are attracted to you in a positive way because you come from a place of love, a place of positivity. I know that there are some people who can go on the set and think, hey, I just won an award, and, you know, they might work that day. They might not work again, though, because of their attitude.
Yeah, that's true. And I think also for me, I'm in a category which is still a great, wonderful, exclusive category. Most actors registered with the Screen Actors Guild don't make a living acting. You know, they it's a small percentage who are on a TV show regularly, who work regularly. I consider myself someone who I pretty much work regularly. I mean, I am vested with SAG, which means I have a pension with SAG, I have retirement with SAG, I have all of that with SAG. I earn enough usually to qualify for health insurance, but also something about me is that I am not too proud to, if I don't make enough money doing principal work, I will do background work and I will do stand-in work. Now, I don't have to do that often, but when I do it. Like this past summer, before that $4,700 from American Horror Stories, I thought that I was not going to make health insurance because I had to make health insurance by June 30th.
Right.
And I was like, gosh, I just don't know if I'm going to make it. So I took a stand-in job on CSI Las Vegas. It's coming back. And I was very appreciative for that stand-in job. And what happened is I took the stand-in job at the last week in April.
Right.
But by mid-May, I had done like 3 TV shows, principal work, and I made my quota. And I didn't think I would.
Right.
And everyone said, oh, Taneka, oh my gosh, quit CSI. You don't need it anymore. You can just concentrate on your principal work. And, you know, in my brain, I thought to myself, I said, now I don't love doing stand-in work, but I made a promise. I made a commitment. I made a commitment to the actress, Paula Newsome, who I'm standing in for.
Right.
I made a commitment to the AD for the TV show. So if I left, they'd have to find another Black actress who fits her look, her measurements, everything like that, right in the middle of filming. And I said, no, even though I've made my quota and even though I do mostly principal work, I'm going to stay and I'm going to do this stand-in work.
Right.
Because it was just the right thing to do.
And I have
I always want to keep my integrity and my professionalism. I didn't just want them to say, oh, wow, well, when she needed us and she thought she needed to make her quota, she was going to work, and then she up and quit once she made her quota. I just didn't want it to be that way.
Yeah.
So
and they'll remember you. They'll remember
Yes.
you for other work. And
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I am someone who is not too proud. I'll do principal work one day, and then next week I might be doing background, or I might be doing stand-in. That doesn't happen often, but I'm not too proud, not too whatever accomplished to ever do any SAG work like that when I'm, available. I'm still have kids to support, and it's like that's what I'm doing. And just real quick, also speaking of kids, I always joke that if you live in my house, you audition. So my husband auditions, and my husband is not a great actor, but he's great for commercials. He's really, really, really great for commercials.
my God, yes, that face,
Yes.
His whole being.
You worked with my husband. So my husband he's a good commercial actor, and that works for him. Now I have two sons. I had, they've both had agents. They both auditioned. My one son, my 13-year-old, horrible actor, not a good actor.
Does he like to do
commercials? But for commercials, he can slide by. Yeah. But my 11-year-old, he's probably going to have his own TV show in the next 2 years. Right. Our whole life is probably going to change because of him. He has numerous national commercials airing right now. Yeah. Of course, I'm his acting coach, and he's with the Big Time Kids agency, and he auditions for all the big stuff. He just had a big audition for a Mel Gibson movie. He just had an audition for a lead in a TV show, and so everything that I've learned now over the years, I'm passing it on to the next generation. And he loves theater, and he loves singing, and he's gonna be the next generation too, and I'm helping him and guiding him. So
I feel like I should have the whole family on now.
I know. Yeah, we did a family commercial for the Super Bowl commercial for T-Mobile with the actor Anthony Anderson. It was great. The whole family was in it, and it was wonderful.
Well, Super Bowl commercials used to be amazing.
Yes, this was a big one. And it only aired one time, just during the Super Bowl, and but it was amazing.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I love it. Now, do you have? I mean, you played so many characters, especially after seeing that wonderful demo that, clips of all, or a lot of your work, and that's only just part of it. But do you?
Yeah, I have to update that demo. There's a lot on there that is not there.
Yeah.
And I need to really, really upload that.
Yeah. Well, and it'll happen, but it's so you
not
so
upload,
busy.
Update is the word I'm looking for. I need to update, which I will.
Oh yeah. When you get a chance.
Yeah.
Is there a character or a role or a moment in your career that you go, oh yeah, I mean that one?
I think really it was just my first big one, which was Any Day Now. I had so much fun on that set. It was wonderful. I met so many people. It was my first kind of big gig. From that show, that's how I got vested in the Screen Actors Guild. I made the most money I ever made. I mean, it was great. I was still, how old? I might have been 28 when I first got that in 1999. And
I think that's when we met during that time.
Maybe. Yeah, I think so. It was just a really, really exciting time. It was just a very, very exciting time.
What was it about the role of Lakeisha? How did you approach it?
Well, I actually made up all these different I made up all this kind of different background for myself. Like, she was the secretary to Lorraine Toussaint,
yeah.
Who was a lawyer, but I I said all these things to myself. Okay, I'm in college. I really want to be a lawyer. I want to be just like Renee Jackson, who was Lorraine Toussaint's character. And I, just had all these backstories that I created for myself. And it was great. I was so happy. And they loved my audition. I was told when I went in there, and I was just like this wide-eyed, excited legal assistant secretary. And it's like Renee Jackson was much more stoic and more serious. And I was her, overly excitable, slightly annoying assistant. And so it was great. It worked out great.
Yeah. What do you want the most at this moment in your life?
At this moment in my life, I, of course, would still love the dream of winning an Oscar one day or an Emmy. But honestly, at this point, while my boys are still in school and they're very, very heavily involved in sports, if I could just keep working, even just, a guest star here, a guest star there, a couple of recurring roles where I could still make my health insurance and I could still, do things with my boys, I would be totally happy with that. Just like how it's been going. This year, 2021 has been phenomenal. I've worked so much this year and I'm so grateful. So if I could just keep doing that, even if I don't become this quote unquote big star or anything, if I could just keep working in whatever capacity, I would be so grateful.
And you enjoy it. It shows.
I enjoy it. I do. I do. It's just like this audition tonight. I'm thinking, okay, well, I have to play a judge, and I'm already thinking, okay, like what I'm going to wear and what wig I'm going to have on, how it's going to be, how I'm going to approach it. As soon as I get off with you, I'll make a few phone calls and I'm going to download my sides. I'll go over my sides because it's due first thing in the morning. I'll start working on all of that before I have to go pick up my boys. And, I still get happy and I still get excited over auditioning. So, that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is. Thank you so much. Thank you for the visit.
Yay.
And one other thing I remember every year you had one of those big birthday bashes.
Yes.
Wasn't that with the three of you or two of you? No,
J. August Richards, who I met at theater school at USC.
Yeah.
And we would always have, I think our last one stopped in like 2011 or 2012.
Yeah.
That might have been the last one. We'll come back and we'll do one together at some point.
Yeah.
Just for
reunion's sake.
Just for reunion's sake. But yeah, every year we would have these big birthday theme parties together, myself and the actor J. August Richards. And it was wonderful. It was magnificent. These are some of the people that you meet along the way in your acting journey. And you have a close bond with them because the acting community and the entertainment community really is smaller than people think. And you work with people, you can work with someone 1 year and then 5 years later you're on a set with them. And it all comes full circle. So yeah, just like we're coming full circle,
right? And it's all paved with good intentions.
Paved with good intentions. That movie we did together.
I know, right? That was fun.
That was great.
Thank you. And I look forward to giving you not a virtual hug, but a real hug.
Oh, thank you. I hope so. I'm so happy to see you, David. So happy to see you.
And send love to your family.
I will.
All right.
I will. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.